All animals are potentially dangerous, but baboons can be crazy sometimes. In fact, there are some wild instances when baboons have been injured, hurt, or even killed by other animals such as crocodiles, wild dogs, and even other baboons. Watch this video to find out more about these dangerous moments that baboons have faced with animals. You might also be surprised to know that baboons aren't afraid of many creatures like snakes, lions, leopards, and even humans. Number 1. A baboon was chased by a crocodile. Suddenly, the crocodile launched itself from the water. The baboon jumped up onto a rock in order to escape the jaws of death. However, the crocodile's powerful body was too strong for this little baboon. It grabbed him with its mouth and pulled him back down into the water. He managed to get away by using his hind legs as leverage against the crocodile's face. After he had escaped, he ran for about 50 meters before he collapsed and began trembling in fear. The crocodile soon caught up again and seized him once more with his teeth around his arm. But now there was no way out. He had already tried that strategy once before. He struggled with all his might, but it didn't work. His arm was being chewed off. Fortunately, one of the other baboons noticed what happened and came running towards them. Number 2. A baboon was gored by another baboon. One of the most insane moments in animal history happened when one baboon got gored by another. The event was caught on camera as it happened at South Africa's Kruger National Park. It all started when the two baboons were fighting over some territory, but things soon turned ugly. One baboon turned to bite the other in its backside, and that's when things went from bad to worse. The bitten baboon spun around to counterattack and sunk his teeth into the attacker's face. And then, before anyone could blink, blood was everywhere. The attacker shook violently as he tried to release himself from his aggressor, who clung tightly onto his neck with those deadly jaws. But then the tables turned. The bitten baboon suddenly let go and attacked again, this time sinking his teeth into his opponent's arm and biting down hard. Finally, after minutes of vicious fighting, they disengaged from each other, both limping away wounded with scars on their faces, chests, and arms. Number 3. A baboon was bitten by a wild dog. One day, one of the baboons at the Cape of Good Hope got bitten by a wild dog. The wild dog was not at the zoo, so it came into the baboon's habitat to hunt. The baboon had been sleeping in a tree when all of a sudden he heard an animal coming up behind him. He thought it was one of his friends, so he turned around and got bit on his arm. It was not just any bite, it ripped off part of his arm. This event is one of many where we see how animals can become violent towards one another and hurt each other. Number 4. A baboon was hit by a car. A baboon was hit by a car, breaking his arm in the process. It's not every day that you hear about baboons getting into car accidents, but this one got unlucky. A group of tourists spotted the incident as it happened and filmed it too. The video shows the baboon running across the street before being hit by an oncoming car. The poor animal suffered from this accident for days until he was eventually taken to the vet for treatment. Number 5. A baboon was shot with an arrow. One day, this baboon was running down the path when it got stung by a bee. The baboon then ran into the water to try to get the stinger out of its cheek. A crocodile saw the baboon in distress and came up from under the water to snatch it. Fortunately for this particular baboon, it managed to escape with just a few scratches. Number 6. A baboon was stung by a bee. A baboon was electrocuted when he tried to cross a high-tension power line. The baboon had been trying to get from one tree to another through the wire when he came in contact with the live wire. The electricity caused the baboon's hair to stand on end, blinding him and shocking his muscles so that they were locked into place. He then slid down the pole onto his back before falling out of reach of the live wires. Number 7. A baboon was electrocuted. At first glance, the baboon appeared to be dead on the ground. The animal was clearly in distress with his legs splayed out from his body and its head tilted back. He was shaking violently as if he were having a seizure. But after some time passed, it became clear that something else was at play. A few minutes later, another baboon walked up to the body of the injured baboon and stood over him for about 10 seconds before taking off into the forest. It seemed like a sign of respect or disbelief in what had just happened. It's not uncommon for baboons to get into fights with one another, or even be attacked by predators such as crocodiles or wild dogs while they're in their natural habitat. So that's it for today. If you like this video, then please hit the like and subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching.